Welcome to Law Firms on the Map, digital marketing podcast for law firms serious about their business growth. I'm your host, Kristaps Brencans, CEO of OnTheMap Marketing. We're a digital marketing agency that helps attorneys scale their law firms. And today I have a really special guest, Kaspars Milbergs. He's our CTO, also my business partner, and a very, very dear friend that I've known for now, almost 16 years. But personal things aside, Kaspars has been in digital technology, web development world for probably 17 years at this point. So not a lot of people can say that. And I've had this amazing opportunity to work with him, and he has educated me on a lot of things. Some highlights on his career: he's probably touched over 5,000 plus websites from WordPress to any content management system you can think of. He's built several SaaS products, and one of his most successful SaaS products actually right now is doing close to $1 million a year. It's accessibility. He's running it highly successfully. He's also behind our other SaaS product, TrackRight. And now he's spending a lot of time thinking about AI, integrating a lot of things in our processes and developing new AI products in web development. And that's today's topic we want to talk about. So Kaspars, welcome on board. Say hi to our audience.
Hey, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, to get things started, maybe just in 2 words, tell us your own kind of summary of your career and how you ended up in law firm marketing world.
Well, I was blown away in high school about teacher us showing just some simple HTML stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. Like I can build things on my own. Like, wow, this is a game changer. So I totally fell in love with it. So during the initial kind of early time when I actually put some work in and tried to build some pages, I also kind of understood that I really love the design part. So I kind of switched into more design rather than just development. And then I also, again, switched back to the development and actually knowing the full picture helps a lot. So I know the ins and outs from both sides. So I have a solid foundation for front-end development and also back-end development and the design. So yeah, started as a simple websites and now just building systems or complex sites. That's been my passion so far.
Could we label you as a full stack CTO?
Sure.
That's a new one, right? So obviously, we work very closely together, and I know you're spending tremendous amount in learning about AI. You were talking internally about AI before everyone else was talking about AI. So kind of tell us, what have you seen in the last 2-3 years? What's been this progression in your perception as a CTO of a law firm marketing agency and several SaaS products?
Yeah, it started to me as just a fun tool. Whenever ChatGPT came out, I was blown away that you can ask so many questions, and even stupid questions that you are sometimes afraid to ask. Now I can just totally ask any questions and not be judged by anyone, right? And then I kind of realize, there's a bigger potential rather than just asking questions. So it kind of slowly adapted to my daily work, where I can just think about any process that I need to automate with AI, and with AI help, then shift and deploy things way, way faster.
That's interesting. So what is your favorite use case right now? How, number one thing you've built that has saved you an immense amount of time?
Probably accessibility support. We usually get 10 to 15 tickets, and some of them are really hard to write it down because there are certain things that we do, and then there's law out there, so we need to kind of guide the users in the right direction. So having that support, having 10 to 15 tickets per day, just generated by AI, and of course, I'm going through them and adjusting them, but that's a huge start that helps a lot. I have this whole automation flow. Whenever a new ticket comes in, I have a certain flow that it goes through all the processes and then basically generates me a draft where I can later on adjust if needed. But that's a huge time saver. That's the biggest one
let me just reframe this, what you just said. You don't even open the ticket yourself. You just need to approve and edit the response to a ticket that came in?
Right. So whenever a ticket comes in, like I just mark it as a separate label, and then the whole flow starts. And then I have only the draft where I just need to.
So AI reads your ticket, prepares the response, sends it back to you for review, and then you're like, you either approve it and send it, or you run it through a couple other edits.
Right. And the key for this to be successful is that the AI knows everything about our product. Like that's a custom AI agent that knows everything about accessibility and accessibility throughout all the websites, and then it can actually guide the users to have better email responses. So the key is that it knows all the context about accessibility. Like I fed the whole data. The AI knows, for example, like where I can switch my billing plan or where I can enable a certain feature. Like that I don't have to go in and check. Like AI knows everything about it.
So then it checks the database, and based on the database creates the response.
Right.
Very cool. Right. So I want to shift this conversation a little bit more towards law firm digital marketing. Our audience is law firm owners, operators, marketers, and big part of obviously marketing is a website. How do you think AI will impact the web development in the near future? Is web developers and designers going to be switched to AI agents, or we're still going to have web development agencies and departments as a function?
I think already things are happening right now because, for example, me as a developer, I can be 3 times or even more times productive in specific cases. So I think in the future, AI agents will play a big role because now AI agents doesn't have your ability of your browser context or your device context. But I think the next step is going to be that they're going to release basically an AI agent that's going to run on your machine, on your device that you're using. And the AI agent will have access to your email or whatever app you're using daily, right? And then you can create automated workflows. For example, I don't know, like run a screaming frog every single day and check for new issues found. And that's just going to be run automatically in the background. And you don't have to rely on any APIs because that's going to use the actual device on your whatever you're using. So I think that will be a huge game changer because me as a developer or any developer out there, I think it's going to shift a lot. Like I think in the future, we're going to see more and more of those agents, and then developers will slowly transition in basically a role where they are more like technical PMs that they're going to manage multiple AI agents. You don't have to write regular code anymore, right? You just have to check whether or not the AI agent did as you asked. Like you have to have a knowledge to read the code, right? But in the future, you're going to write less and less code, more focus on bigger issues. And then those AI agents, you're going to be like a PM, like, oh, this is correct. All right, no, this needs some adjustment. This is correct. So you're going to manage those AI agents.
So the AI agent essentially can write the code. And then you, just like your support ticket, it writes the code, and then you apply that code in whichever part of the website you're building out.
Right. So even now as a developer, there's, for example, code editor called Cursor, which basically have a full context window of your project that you're working on. So even though if you haven't touched any code previously and you jump in a new project, it knows all your code base, and like adding a new feature throughout multiple files, it's already happening. Like it's already doable. So that's a huge time saver. So again, like I think in the future, there's going to be more and more cases like this. And truth is that I think that it probably in a few years, 1 developer will replace 5 developers.
So what do you think are the things a law firm owner, operator, marketer should think about when they're thinking about their web development workflows and needs?
Well, so first of all, whenever they are looking into a new site, they definitely need to make sure that whoever does the site does the foundation correctly. Because whenever you use multiple plugins, multiple ready-made themes, later on they will basically set you back. Maybe at the start it will be faster, but then whenever you have like a breaking changes or major features you need to add, it's going to be hard. So definitely like a custom fully control backend would work the best, because then with AI agents later on you can change anything with just fully customized way.
Would that still work with like WordPress teams? So maybe AI supportive WordPress team?
Right. There's definitely already things happening in that field. And let's step a little bit back. Like whenever the website builders, and not talking even about WordPress, because in WordPress, for example, we have those web builders like Elementor and a few other ones. But stepping back, whenever the website builders came out, like a lot of people said, oh, look, it's going to kill the custom developers. Like there's no need for custom developers anymore and so on. But reality is different. Like that still plays a big part. But in future, I think those editors like Elementor and even WordPress native ones, I think they're gonna more rely on AI, and then basically you have this AI theme, AI foundation in WordPress, and whenever you need to do any big changes, like even like changing all the colors or inner linking or whatever things you're gonna need, if it's set up correctly, then you're gonna just use again the AI agent that will work in the theme and basically make all of those changes.
And I think the other part that's important for our audience to think about is, a lot of I think would be exploring SEO, and SEO websites are always very content heavy. So talk to me a little bit about AI agents that can help you manage your content.
Again, things are already happening. So you can just, for example, think about the topic you want to build authority around. Like you can already get the core topic, and then it will generate the whole map of the articles that needs to be added, and then of course later on the articles. And then with AI agents, even though, for example, you don't have a custom integration to add this content dynamically in a website, with AI agent with the ability to access your browser, your device, anything, he can just do it manually. You can sleep in a bed and it's going to add all the content and interlinking and everything else together, and you're going to wake up with a fully done job.
So there's going to be a part 2 conversation of this about content quality and AI, because it's kind of frowned upon right now, and some people agree with it, some don't. What's your take on it? What do you think about AI generated content quality?
I think majority of them are now in pretty bad shape. Like it doesn't add any value. It's just kind of, if the AI content is not written correctly, if the AI content doesn't have any context and everything else, then it's most likely going to be not that great, right? But if the AI have all the context and all the guidelines to generate the content, I think there are multiple cases where it works really good. And I think in the future, it's going to be more and more AI content, but with the context. So for example, I don't know, like even Airbnb listings or any directory, for example, for lawyers, like, there's no way you can write a good article about specific lawyer, not knowing all the facts and everything else. But if the AI has all the context, reviews, actual locations, like whatever things, but once it has all the context, I think those articles come out really good.
You just gave me an idea. What if we fed the AI agent the entire website that's already with the content, about us page, all the history, all the law attorneys, all the settlements they had, and then said, all right, use this information and now write a piece of content about Florida car accident laws or whatever subcategory you need to fill in the information on.
And it's going to be a huge difference. Like it's going to be a huge difference if you just kind of create a new doc with just AI content with just one keyword. Like if it doesn't know the context and all the previous stuff and everything else, then it's going to come out pretty bad.
I think it would be great to also pick your mind on a topic that I think a lot of law firms think about. How should lawyers think about upgrading their law firm website? Like, I feel like every agency they go to, they're like, you got to build a new website. It's just an easy opportunity. So what's your take on this? When should they really think about upgrading a website? Or I guess it's even a bigger project. It's like a tech stack and all those elements that go into it.
So majority of the cases that I have seen is when the client actually needs to upgrade the website is that the website, for example, WordPress in this specific case is using a lot of unused plugins or rely only on plugins. That's a big thing that I think also like the whole theme that you are using in WordPress plays a crucial role. So I have seen a lot of bad cases when, for example, the theme is bought. Like that's an all-in-one theme that you could use for lawyer, I don't know, medicine or whatever, all the reasons. And then basically it comes with a huge part. The theme is so huge that you only use like 3% of the theme. And then whenever you need to make any modifications, it's just hard to do it because everything is pretty much hard-coded. There's no flexibility. And those kind of reasons are that, all right, like rebuilding the new site is way more better in that case because that's scalable. So in cases when you use like majority of the plugins and ready-made themes, you can get a kickstart at the beginning, but then whenever you have like a big inner linking or whatever things you need to do on a site, it always causes some issues. And then also, of course, like I have seen a lot of bad examples about mobile design. That plays a big role, like of having a bad website, of course, because majority of the traffic still comes from the mobile devices. And of course, page speed. Like in some of the cases, page speed, there's no way to fix the page speed if the whole theme and the plugins added that not necessarily bulk to the site, and there's no way to fix it.
So to simplify, talk to Kaspars and ask for an audit, and then we'll give them AI-friendly WordPress theme that they can scale for 3 years and automate things and make it a lot more efficient. Drop in some agents to analyze competitors' sites and speed things up. Okay, I want to end on, what are your thoughts on the search engine future? What's going to happen to Google? Role of ChatGPT search, I think that's what it was. Now, Google's ruling of monopoly, that they're monopoly. Where do you see this going?
I truly think that we're going to see more and more zero-click searches. Like, at least in my experience, like I'm pretty much daily using zero-click searches. If I need to find any topic or any answer fast, zero-click searches definitely are way to go. I think the whole market will shift a little bit. I think Google has to have hard decisions right now. They're probably scratching their heads. How are we gonna actually see our future in a few years? But I think regardless, it's gonna change. It's gonna change probably a lot. So we are already seeing some Google zero-click searches at the top, like the whole summary and everything else. I think definitely that's a future in my opinion.
Okay, and what do you think about the search GPT? Are people going to start using ChatGPT for their searches, or Google's still going to be the dominant search engine?
I think Google's still going to be the dominant. It's hard to tell yet because like only a few people have the early access right now. For me, I don't see that valuable, and I don't see that I'm going to use it constantly. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Got it. Well, Kaspars, this has been a fantastic conversation. I know you have to go train more AI agents, so I'd love to wrap. Tell us, audience, where they can find you. If they want to reach out, ask you some questions about AI, or
yeah, definitely reach out to me in LinkedIn or in email. I'm definitely here to answer any questions or guide through things you are working on. All
right. Well, thank you, Kaspars. Audience, there you go. Think about AI agents. They can be integrated in your website along with other interesting things Kaspars mentioned. Kaspars, thank you so much. This was great. We'll see you soon.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Chris.